Hi little yarnivores and spiderettes, Fiber Spider back again with another tutorial for you, and this is a continuation of what I hope to be my little snowflake series. So I did this in Pound of Love by Lion Brand, and I used a size H crochet hook. You can of course use whatever yarn or hook size that works for you, but just wanted to let you know that this is what I did for this pattern. Alright, so without further ado, let's get started. Alright, so we're going to start with, of course, our slip knot, as always. And we're going to begin with a foundation ring by chaining up of 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. And then we're going to do a slip stitch into the first chain to create our ring. All right. And then for the first round, we're going to start by chaining 1, and that's going to count as our first single crochet stitch. Then we're going to do a total of 11 single crochets into the ring and join with a slip stitch to the initial first chain. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and 11. All right, and then I find that the easiest way to backtrack and know where you're going to do your slip stitch is by actually to count the single crochets that you did. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So then into this stitch right here, we're going to do our slip stitch. It's very easy to miscount sometimes, so I like to err on the side of caution. All right, so that's the end of the first round. Alrighty, so for the second round, we're going to start by chaining 1, and like last time, it's going to count as our first single crochet. Then we're going to do a single crochet into the next stitch, like so, and then we're going to chain up 8 stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And then we're going to do a slip stitch into the 8th chain from where we started. So that would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. So not going into down in here, but right into here. We're going to do a slip stitch, and we're going to create a ring, like so. Okay, and so we have our loop. So then we're going to do a single crochet into the next 2 single crochets. So that was our last one there, so we're going to do 2. So that's 1 and 2. Okay. And then we're going to repeat doing our chaining of 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Then another slip stitch into the 8th chain. So that's right down in here. Oops. Slip stitch. Then single crochet into the next 2 single crochet stitches. So that's 1 and 2. Then chaining of 8 again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Slip stitch into that first chain down there. 2 more single crochets, chain 8, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, slip stitch into that first chain, if I can get there. There we go. 2 more single crochets. Okay, so we've got 4 loops going on thus far. Chain 8 again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Slip stitch into that first chain down there. We're going to need a total of 6 loops. 2 more single crochets. That's 1 and 2. Chain 8 again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Slip stitch into that first chain down there. And then down in here, we're only going to, let's see, pardon me one moment. Okay. So because this chain 1 that we did counted as a single crochet and we have 2 single crochets in between, we're going to go underneath and do a slip stitch right underneath here. Now, hope you can see that because we have 1 single crochet here. So right into here is where we do our slip stitch, like so. This was our first loop. All right. It's a little tricky, but I will persevere. Here you go. So now we have a total of 6 pretty little loops that we're going to work off of in the next and last round of this snowflake. All right, so for our third and final round, we're going to start by doing some slip stitches so that we can get into this loop here. So we're going to start by doing a slip stitch into that single crochet that we did on the last row, slip stitch, and then into the first 2 chains of this loop, we're going to do slip stitches as well. So you just want to catch yourself a loop, slip stitch, and then into the next one, slip stitch, like so, just sort of creeping along the side of this loop. And then what we're going to do is a chaining of 3. Okay. And then that's going to count as our first double crochet. Then we're going to do an additional 3 double crochets into this loop. That's 1, 2, and 3. Like so. And if there's a bit of a gap, you can always shift your double crochets over a little bit, so it's more of a cohesive cluster, if you will. Okay? And then you're going to proceed by doing, let me see, a chaining of 3, and then 4 double crochets into the same loop. So that's 1, I can get all of my plies of yarn on there. 2, 3, and 4. Perfect. Okay. And then we're going to be doing clusters across the way. So after doing our 2 clusters separated by a chaining of 3, we're going to go directly over to the next loop right over here. You don't have to chain in between. So we're going to be going directly over into this next loop here with more clusters. So that's going to be 4 double crochets. Oops. 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3 chains, and then 4 more doubles. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Going into the next loop, 4 double crochets. 1, 2, 3, 4, chain of 3, 4 more double crochets, and my yarn is tangling on me. I'm sorry. Do forgive me. All right, I've got 2. I need 2 more double crochets. Okay, then into the next loop, 4 double crochets. There we go. Chain 3. 4 more double crochets into that same loop. So each loop has 2 clusters of 4 doubles separated by a chain 3. Makes it really easy on this last round. And then we've got 2 more loops that we need to go into. So in this one here, 4 double crochets. 1, 2, 3, and 4, chain 3, and then 4 more doubles, 2, 3, 4, and then into that last loop. Oops, got to yarn over first, don't I? 4 double crochets, 2, 3, 4, chain 3, and then 4 more doubles. Yes, you guessed it. I'm so predictable. 3 and 4. Perfect. Okay. So then, going to do a slip stitch. We're going to connect these. So we're going to do a slip stitch into the top of this first double crochet here. Like so. Right into there. Scooch that through there and through. Perfect. Da-da-da-da. Beautiful. And so all you have to do is just snip your yarn, which I happen to have my handy-dandy scissors handy. Pull that loop out, and then you can weave in your ends, and you can weave in your initial tail through these stitches here, pull it tight, or you can leave it nice and open. And so this, my dears, is the end of my tutorial for this second cute little snowflake. And I really hope that you are enjoying this as much as I am, because you know I am. And I hope that you make a whole bunch of these, whether they be for ornaments, or you can connect them. Actually, like granny squares, you can connect these, and this pattern in particular could be rather nice to connect these together as well, because you have these spaces here. So you could connect, let me see here. Aha, here we go. You could connect this one to this one via these spaces here. And so this is basically a hexagonal shape, which you can then join. And so, like, for instance, what you could do, I'm just going to show you. I'm going to stop my film, and I'm going to show you how you can actually connect these, just for stuff and giggles. I'm going to show you. All right, give me 1 second. All right, I couldn't resist. So what I did was I backtracked a little bit as far as going with the original 4. So then it would be chaining 3 and then doing your additional 4 doubles, right? Well, here's what you can do. Now it's a chaining of 3, right? Well, chain 1, then grab your other piece here, okay? And then going in underneath this space here, what you can do is insert your hook, do a slip stitch connecting them like so. You see? Then do one more chain because it was a chaining of 3. Then continue by doing your 4 doubles into this space here. It's 1, 2, 3, 4. Then do your 4 doubles into this loop here. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Chain 1. Then we're going to continue by doing a slip stitch into this loop. Let me just show you what I'm doing here. See, into this loop right here. Do a slip stitch like so, chain 1, then finish off by doing your 4 doubles into that same loop. 1, 2, 3, 4, and then do your slip stitch to finish off your second snowflake. So they are now connected, and so you don't have to sew them together. Very easy, that. And so what you could quite conceivably do is you could make this into a scarf even, or a shawl, or a what have you, a table runner even. It's just a little extra bonus I wanted to show you, because these remind me so very much of grannies, except this is a rather festive holiday example of a hexagonal granny, if you will. So that's just, another thing that you can quite potentially do. So, with that being said, I really do hope that you're enjoying these, and that you make a whole bunch, and, that you're liking this as much as I am. So listen, if you did like it, please hit the little thumbs up down below, because your support means ever so much to me. And if you haven't hit the subscribe button already, please do so, because I try to post videos as often as I can, and I love to share my passion with anything yarn related or book related with you, and it's just what I do. So listen, my dears, Until next time, I want you to stay inspired, stay caffeinated, and above all, stay stitching. I love you, I love you guys, and I love you all, and I will see you in my next video. Bye for now.